welcome to Knits and Things, our third episode, third week. Yay!
In a row!
I know, I didn't think we were going to manage it this week.
This one's a hard one today.
This was an uphill battle to get here today.
Bear with us. Babysitting, grandpas,
just
car tires, all kinds of good stuff.
Pre-holiday chaos?
Dude.
Right?
Something.
It's in the air.
It's somewhere. Air's a good place for it. Okay, what are we talking about today? Do you want to start with what's on your needles? Look at that bears.
My needles haven't changed a whole lot.
You know, okay, so I gotta say something.
I've been knitting. I haven't been knitting. I've been sewing.
That's true, she has been. So can I say something about this weekly podcast thing? So this podcast stuff is new to me. We've been watching them, so it's been a lot of fun. I've been really kind of enjoying cruising the podcast on YouTube.
There's a lot of really cool ones out there.
You want to do the shout-outs right now? I got them. I wrote them down.
Okay.
Bing. I did good. So we have watched The Canadian Knitter. Sarah,
yeah, she's
great.
Super cute.
She did and I just caught a little bit of it this morning. I'm going to go back and watch more of it. But something about dyeing or coloring, something about the coloring yarn. So I'm going to go back and see that. Sorry, I didn't write that down, but I was like, oh, I want to see that. But I kind of tripped into Idle Cat today. She was really cute. I don't think you've seen her. She's 25. I didn't catch her name. Sorry. But super, I enjoyed her podcast a lot. She made me think of kind of how I started knitting, because she was kind of a freelance knitter in the aspect that she just knew she could do it, and she did it without doing the whole pattern thing. So that was kind of fun to watch. So there's another one out there.
Yeah, it's not just you.
It's not just me. Another couple's podcast that I enjoyed was Knitting in Circles.
Oh, was that the one?
That was the one that was
that I just caught the tail end of.
Yeah. Enjoyed them. They were kind of outdoors. I like that. I like all the different stuff. It made me not as intimidated, maybe, to make ours, because it's like, what do we talk about? And are we talking about enough knitted things? I don't think, yes, it's loosely a knitting podcast, because people talk a lot about not knit stuff. Did you like that?
This is really good. It's surprise tea. I don't know what it is today.
I made the tea this morning. Or today, actually. It's today. Well, let me finish with this, and then we'll go to our tea.
Okay.
The stockinette zombie.
I like them.
I like them.
They're fun.
Yeah,
they were cool.
And they've been going forever.
I know, like 180 something. I think like the very first episode of theirs that I watched was like 182.
The thought that this could go any further than, like a baker's dozen is like crazy to me.
Cool.
It's crazy to me. So, but yeah, very much enjoying the podcasts out there. Keep them coming. They're really enjoying that. So, but teas, let's jump into the teas real quick. I wanted to surprise Courtney with some tea this morning, and it worked. We are drinking, it's called Eating Right for Energy, green tea and black teas. This one's blackberry and pomegranate, naturally flavored. We're going to get you up there so you can see. Come on. And I'm going to try really hard to hold it there for a second, because last time I realized I'm like all over the place. Going, go ahead, catch it if you can. So really fun tea, and it's for
very good.
Energy, and I think the energy part is the green tea portion. Oh, come on now, tilt it right, Tracy. Do it. There it is. Hold it, 2, 3, 4. Good. That's what I'm going to do. And then, so I have that in my teacup as well, but I also have that Nettles tea.
Oh, that you were talking about last time.
Nettles tea that I was talking about last time. Now, okay. I don't take a bunch of stuff for my hot flashes, but I know that it's created an imbalance. I know it's a natural imbalance, but it's still an imbalance. So I can say, if I drink a cup every day, my hot flashes don't start until about 5.
Oh, that's nice.
It's nice. It's really nice. They do last all flipping night, but, that's all right. It's not all day, so I'm happy about that. Stop complaining.
It's
That's what this bag looks like, and I bought it at the health food store. I threw away the box. I'm sorry, but it's just nettle tea, and it's yummy.
needs sweetener though, right?
Well, so what I did is I blend it. I didn't blend it like blend it. I put the black.
Oh, the black raspberry with the pomegranate with it.
Yeah, so I have 2 tea bags in my cup because I like really strong tea to begin with, and a little bit of stevia. I wasn't going to tell you that because you're not a big fan of stevia.
Yeah, I prefer honey.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. And the tea that I wanted to talk about today for our tea time, and we usually do this at the end of our podcast, but all right, we'll see what that looks like.
Well, I normally know what's in my cup.
It's true. It's true. This is from our local knit shop, and if you could see, there's handwritten instructions, which how stinking cute is that, on the top, except for it's right on the top where you have to rip it to open it.
And that's a local tea company. It's actually
it is a local
made
tea
in
company.
Oregon.
Do you remember? Oh, shame on me. Do you remember the name of the tea?
No.
I don't
I
either.
have that tea at home.
Do you
too.
remember
Not
the
that tea, but
name of
tea
the company or the knit shop?
Apples to Oranges.
Apples to Oranges, Silverton, Oregon. They carry tea.
Carry local tea.
They're doing a tea thing with their knits, and I think that's so fun.
It's really cool because they've got a tea bar in there by the register, so you can go in
and I think
have
this
a
one
cup
was
of tea.
for sleeping. I think this one was for sleeping.
And they've got normal teas too, like Earl Grey's, English breakfast, all that from the same company, and they only do the one company of
right.
tea.
And so, since we're going to be talking about teas right now, I'm going to go right into the crazy thing that happened today when I was knitting, waiting for the girls to take their nap so we could make this podcast. I jumped into my knit bag, and I'm knitting my handbrake, and all of a sudden, I'm getting this yummy smell of
Chocolate?
Are you smelling it?
Yes, I was sitting here wondering what that smell of chocolate was.
Right?
'Cause I didn't want to rummage through your stuff, but I was like, did you make hot cocoa?
Right? Totally smells like hot cocoa.
It really smells
It's
like
not
hot cocoa.
hot cocoa. Not even close. My daughter, Brandy, the sweet little crafter, sent me home, me and her dad, some protein powder.
That's the protein.
And that's what that is. That's what
it smells like hot cocoa.
I forgot it in my bag. And I'm like, oh my God, what does that smell? So I had to go digging in, thinking maybe I dropped it,
Back hot cocoa.
Well, no, actually, I was thinking I had maybe melted a.
Oh, that would have been so sad.
And I can't even think. You're not
The
helping me with
salted
the
caramels.
word. Yes, the salted caramel. And so I kind of panic a little bit because I have a tendency to grab 2 because I like to one down and then just kind of enjoy the other one. And sometimes I forget that I have 2.
She grabs 2 and generally eats 1.
I mean to eat 2. I used to.
But that's
That's
kind of
not a bad
it's like
thing,
it's a
I
healthy
guess.
thing. It's like reducing your sugar.
Ever
via
since
forgetfulness.
Ever since I did the juice, we're doing the juicer thing. I'm not as big as a sugar hound as I used to be.
Oh, that's cool.
And I like that. I think with the fruit juices and stuff, I'm getting more natural sugars. Maybe
I'm
not
on day 4 of no sugar.
I can't tell you how proud I am of her. I'm so jealous. It's fantastic. I think it's great. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Keep going. It's so hard to go sugar free. It's so hard. One day, I'll get there one day again.
It's not fun.
It's not.
But it's worth it.
It is worth it. So, since we're doing our tea thing, I'm going to go right to and I know we're kind of doing this all backwards, but your tea thing got me backwards. Do we want to
Oh my
bounce
God, I love
back
that
into
cup. That's
this
my
one?
favorite cup.
This is one of my favorite cups. So this is
we can end on knitting then.
There you
and
go.
go through the
There
other
you go.
stuff.
We'll just kind of bounce around.
If you want to watch knitting stuff, fast forward until you don't.
We're going to go off-road first, just to let you know. And if you've watched our whole 2 other ones that we've made, you'll know that we kind of go off-road with crafting. And so I think we're going to go backwards today. Maybe every 3rd one could be backwards day.
We're not going to remember to do that.
It's true. Okay, so here's my little Lavana lavender. She was my first teacup fairy
And show
I
the
ever
teacup
made.
that she goes with.
Well, I am kind of trying to do that.
Because the teacup that she goes with is freaking adorable.
And in the back, she's sitting on a toadstool or whatever, but her little skirt's made out of purple leaves and super red hair. Seems like every doll that I make at first has got red hair, probably because my granddaughter. And then here's the teacup. I bought this at, help me out, Courtney.
Bauman Farms.
Thank you, Bauman Farms, just outside of Woodburn.
Yeah.
They're the cutest little farm store that has, they love tea.
Yeah, it's
They
like a
have
farmer's
teapots and
Well, they do
teacups.
holiday tea parties.
They do.
Like they do a Mother's
They
Day tea
do.
party. They do a Christmas season.
She was the
tea
first
party?
cup, the first cup. The first fairy that got a cup. She actually got, and that was an expensive.
Was she not the first? She wasn't
She
the,
was the
first
first
fairy
fairy.
cup, though, was she?
She
Or cup fairy?
She was, well, she was
The first.
the first. She was kind of the first of everything. She wasn't a teacup fairy at first, but before I got the second one done, I made her into a teacup fairy. So
Then they
she's
all
sitting
became teacup
down,
fairies.
and they all became teacup fairies with her little cup of lavender tea, her little red hairs, her kind of bumbly wings in the back. And my thing is, so I miscarried twins when I was very young, and after I had both of my daughters, and they're just part of me. They just always will be, as any woman that has had that experience knows. And so when I started needle felting, I did kind of the little. Do you see the little ladybugs? Because every time I see ladybugs, they make me think of those little babies that I didn't get to hug. They're so elusive little babies. So yeah, anyway, that's my little. So I'm only going to bring one of the tea fairies out today because
She has another felted thing.
I have another felted thing. I was kind of going for the. I'm going to turn her around for the pumpkins. I just kind of wanted to do pumpkins, and I was going to do like funny pumpkin faces, and
I love those pumpkins. Those are really well done.
thank
felted
you.
pumpkins.
They
They
were
look great.
Thank you. They were so fun to do. So I have little Mama Squashkin or whatever. Her name continues to change. It depends on what Ripley's talking about today. But
That's true.
there's little Mama. You're sleeping. She is wrapped up in a leaf that's coming off of the big pumpkin. And she's got a couple of babies. And see if I can do this. There they are.
Wrapped
Couple
up
of
in other
babies
leaves.
wrapped up in baby leaves. Sleeping while she sleeps. There's the other face. There, that's kind of hard to skedoodle around. And then the leaf on top. I really like the leaf. I'm very proud of that leaf. Fun textured stuff. And yes, we do have one and two little, the two ladies, buggies that are in there.
Ladybugs.
Yeah, I love them. And so those are my rogue for today.
I actually have a robe today.
Yes, you do. What's your rogue? What's your rogue?
So we went and did the pajamas.
That's right.
sewing
Had the
party
pajama
this
party.
weekend.
Michelle.
I didn't bring
so
any of the
much fun.
pajama
Down
pants
in Roseburg. We had
because
a
I'm
lot
not
of time.
done with the pajama pants. But I took the fabric that I used for all the pajama pants and I made them matching pillowcases, which
So
I'm
pretty.
really stoked
Show 'em.
about.
You want some? You just tell me if you need help.
So
Isn't that beautiful? So those are the bottom of the jammies,
yes,
right?
these are the pajama pants.
For the girls.
And then I'm gonna take this pink here
Mhm.
and do little like camisole tops.
Oh, you were wondering about tops. So you're gonna make them.
Yeah,
of course
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
make
make them. Of course she's gonna make them. She's like that. She's a great mom.
And so then they've got little pink camisoles with.
So tell us why you
Uh,
picked that material.
I picked this one for the girls because my oldest daughter. It says "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" on it, and we have a book of poems that was actually out of mine when I was little, and my mom used to sing the poems to my sister and I at bedtime, and I let my kids pick their stories, and Ripley often picks the poem book, and her favorite poem to pick is "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" to get some to her. She picks that, and she also picks there's a candy tree poem.
The gumdrop tree or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that she absolutely loved.
It was
Sugar
one-
plum? I don't know.
Yeah, sugar tree. That's right.
And so
It was
when I
really
saw
nice.
this, it was very my
Mhm.
oldest. And then for the boys in the family, we went with snowflakes and snowmen.
The boys will love that.
Yeah, my son loves snowmen.
And then your nephew
Yes, and my nephew
has
does
to
as
look
well.
exactly like Zebo.
Yes, he wants to be exactly like the oldest. And then I've got some. I think I've got some leftover red fabric that I'm gonna do little T-shirts for the boys out of.
Oh, nice.
Since I don't have enough of this white fabric, which it's not a stretchy fabric anyway, I don't think it'd be a comfortable night shirt.
Mm.
We could always do T-shirts. Well, yeah, but if I've got extra fabric, why not?
Very cool, baby. Very cool.
Thank you. And that is my rogue.
That's all you
So in one day, I knit, I didn't knit. I sewed 5 pillowcases
kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it?
in one day.
Crazy girl.
And I've got
Crazy girl.
2 out of 5 pajamas.
Nice. Now are you going to do yours as well? And, you know,
I
with
might.
Dad and I not going this weekend, I'm not going to be able to get your patterns for you.
That's true, but I might just lay them out and reach the measurement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make it
You-
yourself. You do that.
Once I've gotten the general shape that you need, you can just enlarge or shrink as needed. It's easier for me to enlarge than it is to shrink.
Okay.
I really liked her idea. She gave a great tip of
Give them a
Doing,
sewing tip.
doing your own pattern. She
Share
recommended
tips. We like tips.
going to your local newspaper and buying the end of the paper reel.
That's right. The end reel.
And you can get that paper and then trace out your patterns that you want to use, and it's a little bit more durable than that like
Heavier paper.
super, made to be torn pattern.
Right. So you have to buy the pattern again, is what I'm thinking. But that's just my thought. I don't know.
I don't. Well, I'd imagine because it takes up so much little space.
Well,
I mean, it folds up so itty bitty tiny when they fold it and press it, and it's flat. So that's like, because whenever you take it out and unfold it, and then have to refold it, it's gotten air, and it's like your envelope went from being, the width of your finger to.
It's true. Unless you ironed them back again.
Yeah, nobody's gonna do that.
It's not true. I'm sure there's people out there that do that. I'm sure of it.
All
Okay.
right, what is off your needles? What have you finished?
You know,
Because I actually have one of those this week.
it's a sad day because I had one thing off my needles that was an on and off again, a headband. Because I kind of go
Ooh,
crazy with
and you
headbands.
gave it to Tessa.
Is that who I gave it to? Like
Yes,
it's gone.
You
I can't
gave it
find
to her as a baby
Oh,
wrap.
she had to have her bloody doll wrapped up in a blanket, and that's all I had was the thing on my head.
Yes.
So that
you
was
gave
my
it away.
that was my thing. That was the only thing I got off the needles this week. You know, it's been a really weird week. I've not got to knit much myself, or maybe my projects are bigger than normal. I don't know, but I don't have nothing. What you got?
I finally finished socks.
Good.
I finished a pair of Harry Potter Gryffindor socks. Now I haven't woven in the ends. I literally, you saw me getting weaving in the toes, sealing the toes, at the very beginning of this. So I literally just got them off the needles. I haven't done any of the weaving in.
Those are
They
so
are
cute.
done.
Those are for Zeb.
Yeah, my oldest.
So cute. Super, super cute.
Yeah.
You know
And
what?
they
I'm gonna
are-
reach over here for 1 second and turn this up and see what that does.
Okay.
Nothing.
And I actually kept the tags for the yarn.
Ooh, good girl.
So
That's my
both
head.
colors, both skeins of yarn are from Loops and
Ooh.
Threads Woolike, which is very nicely inexpensive. And I got golden yellow and red are the 2 colors
Nice.
for Gryffindor socks.
For those shoes. Or socks.
Yeah,
excuse me.
for his little.
Show the bag. That's a cute bag. I didn't see that bag. I'm starting, because of podcasts, my husband's not going to be happy.
And
Because I'm
and
kind
then
of
it's
digging.
got this little tape
Where did
measure.
you get that?
Okay, this
Sorry,
this is from my tea group. On Ravelry, I am a member of a tea group, and I cannot think
A
of the
tea
name.
group.
Yeah, it's a you know how you can join groups
I
on
did not
Ravelry.
know you had a tea group.
Yeah, and they do
Snooze too?
a traveling box, and it's
Oh no, I think you did tell me.
yeah, there's like an American traveling box and a European traveling box, and you sign up to be a part of it, and then the box will stop off at you, and you can take out what you think is cool, but then you have to put back the same amount. So it's like you can take out tea, but you got to put tea back. There's stuff in it. You can take out stuff or a pattern, but you got to put stuff back. And these were two separate items, and I put them together that I just absolutely adored. And I happened to have an extra project bag that I put back in anyway, and it was like, sweet, traded out a project bag that I'd never used for one that I liked.
It's cute.
I thought it was cute.
Super cute. I like that you have the measuring tape hung onto it.
I know, and it's got the
I don't know
carabiner
about you
clip,
guys out there, but I constantly lose my measuring tape.
and it's from the Loopy U.
Cute. Super cute.
It's great. I am like obsessed with anything with sheep on it.
You are. She is.
Super.
It's true.
If it's got sheep on it, I'm probably thinking it's adorable and I need to have it.
It's true. She does.
In fact, at Ravelry right now, they have a shop. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So you can buy soap from Ravelry. You can buy like they've got a couple of project. Yeah, they've got project bags. And
and I wasn't really okay. This is my project bag.
I know you. I am going to attempt to sew some project bags
And
in the near future.
I like this. I have some project.
Make it pretty.
Well, and that's the thing. I've got some project things in the back room that I'm not bringing in on purpose because I want to get contact paper or something and decorate them.
Well, why don't you do you remember, what was the podcast we were watching? She reorganized her trolley, her knitting trolley.
I need to watch
and
that
she
one
showed
again.
you how to
Because I need
hot
to
glue the burlap onto the coffee tin. You need to hot glue some some cute, like the Hello Kitty or...
We need to watch that again because I vaguely remember that I really like that and I want a knitting trolley.
Oh, I know, it was so cool.
I want a knitting trolley. Who doesn't want a knitting trolley?
We will have to try and find her again so we can give her a shout out because that was a really cool segment.
We will try to get that by next week. Oops. Sorry about that. I hope that didn't show in that.
Cool segment. She had like a teal trolley with all of her knitting stuff in it.
I'm going to look into that, okay, babe?
It was cool.
Get it on for me.
Almost lost a stitch.
Ooh. So, what do you have on your
The same thing as the last two times.
How far have you
It's
gotten?
been growing.
Look, we have another foot.
Yes, another paw
Woo-doo.
joins the others. So I've got one more
That's
to
pretty
add,
good,
and then some.
For a not knitting week.
It was
And
so
I feel like I've knitted a lot this week.
I was
and I've
so
got
frustrated.
No knitting to show.
Yeah, I was super aggravated that
I was kind of worried about that when we first started this podcast thing. It's like,
progress.
What are we gonna do?
Well, who was it?
Oh, every week.
It was one of the ones that we watched. They were they tagged where they were, and then
I
knitted
kind of
on.
like that too.
That was so cool
Yeah.
because then you could see like, holy crap, you made a lot of progress.
But I
Or
don't have a lot of those tags.
that was a Canadian knitter.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you got to get the clippy ones.
Sarah from the Canadian Knitter. Yes.
The Canadian knitter. She was the one, and I know on Etsy they've got a lot of those clippy ones that are super duper cute. Or you know what else I bet would work? They have those like silicone wine glass markers that just pop right through.
We need to look for that. You know, I was
I've got
watching
cute ones of those.
this morning. I was watching. I'm gonna look over here again. Idle Cat. Nope. Yep, it was. And she made for her. You know, and it's interesting. I can't wait for us to get good at this and efficient and actually be online because this is our third one and we've yet to
put the first
one out.
So we will have
For
a
one,
backup.
because
We're
we're like,
ready.
Kaboom, chickens. And the other part is I'm not a computer enough person to figure it out. So
And the third reason is also because sometimes life gets hectic and you're not gonna
True.
be able to film one that week. And
That's
then we
true.
can still like, oh, we'll just, the next one, cool. Now we have a 2-episode buffer right now.
But anyway, I was worried about that finishing off. Oh, nope, that's not what I was talking about. See what happens. What was I talking about? The knit thingies. She made some for a drawing of a knit along. Like, I want to get good enough at this. I really enjoyed that knit along with Kate.
The Bakery Bears.
Yeah. And not necessarily, I did enjoy knitting along with them, but I enjoyed getting on there and watching the banter go back and forth and all of the progress. And some
being a part of the board
ended up having to have surgery, and she talked about that, and it was just really fun. And I can't wait to see if this gets big enough that we can do a knit along. That'd be a lot of fun. And be able to give a gift. I want to give somebody something. Anyway, yeah, that was like way out in left field. Sorry about that, guys. Get back on track. She was making these little markery things for.
I'll be right back.
Okay, must be a baby.
Yep.
Okay. And they had little clasps, and I just now realized those little clasps are to be taken off the knits, because my whole thing was, how do you get them off there once you've knitted with them? It's like they're 10 rows into your knit. Then what do you do? How do you get them off? Well, they have to have an escape plan, right? And those little clippy things are like what you would clip a necklace on with. She was using, looked cool. I really liked it. So. Yeah, that's kind of my only rant that I kind of had today, was I'm going to get into knit markers. Never been into knit markers. I've tried to make a few if I can find them here. Nope, I can't find them here. I need to look at how to make them instead of just going, oh, I'm going to take this wire and it's easy. And there's still patterns, there's still a way to them.
I've made a few.
You have, and she makes great ones, and I haven't watched her do it. I think around a pencil. Is that what you do?
No, I don't. I get the round wire pliers.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
With the rounded tips.
Yeah.
And then you curve it around that, because you can make it really small if you go by the front of the wire of the pliers.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. These.
I just don't. I did that with mine, and they were too small.
Well, then you got to go up higher.
I went to the very highest. It was going to be square, I suppose.
Well, no. Then I don't know what you're doing.
But anyway, we're going to play with that a little bit. But because that's what I was doing, is just making a thing. And I'm like, okay, they have to stay on your needles. If you knit them down into your material, then they're in your material, right? They're beaded.
Yeah, but they've got little clippy clips.
But now that's what my rant was about. Was I just this moment, just this podcast, realized what those little escape pods were for. To escape them. Anyway.
Yeah, those are cool.
I want to get those now. It makes me want them.
Okay, what is on your needles?
Okay. Well, I'll go with what I'm knitting right now. This is my Devonshire shawl that I'm making. And I think I was, I don't know, maybe there.
Yeah, it's coming along well.
It knits fast. It does knit really fast. I'm getting close to 200 stitches at this point in time. And I'm so far away. It's a really pretty blue. I just really like it. Okay. Funny thing happened with my Devonshire shawl. Still learning. Okay. This is my third one,
yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. The first two, I made I was going on about how I got to read my first pattern. I made my first colossal mistake in a read in my first pattern. and I didn't know it for my first 2 shawls that I knitted. I had no idea I was doing it wrong. And I'm not going to bring the other ones over to show you the difference. I was going to, but I'm not going to. But I'm going to show you the correct way. So the solid that you have right here, it is, what's that? Help me, Courtney. What's this stitch?
Oh.
Stockinette?
Yep.
Thank you. And then I was doing, this is all knit, and then the lace pattern within the knit. So it sits back into the pattern. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. With the other ones, I wasn't doing that. I was doing the stockinette, the holy bit, the stockinette, back to the stockinette. And then, so it was like all even except for the holy bits. And I was doing this shawl, and I'm getting ready to do the holy bits or the lacy bits, and I'm reading the pattern over again, and I was like, oh, you're supposed to knit one side and purl the other one. Oh, that's gonna make it lay flat. So I did it, and it was like, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And then I made the second mistake in reading my own pattern. Again, on this pattern, and I'm not going to frog it because I don't mind it. I think it looks kind of cool. It's going to be different, and I don't mind different. You've got stockinette, but right up to the holy bit, it's stockinette, and then it's flat. But this is supposed to be one hole, and then it's supposed to be 2, and then this is supposed to be 3. No, one hole, one hole. I'm sure in the heck I'm going to do 3. I'm not going to go 1, 1, 3. So
you're going to have 2 1s and then 2 and then 3?
Right. My options were, to frog it all out. Clear back to here. And I went, yeah, I think so. So I'm going to do just 2 on this one. And then the next one I'll do 3. And I possibly, if I have enough yarn left over, because if I remember right, I had quite a bit of yarn left over from the purple one. I may make a 5th row of the holy version, so I can get 4 holes, because I like that. That was my favorite one, is the 4 holy one. So the cool part of it is I do have another Devonshire shawl in the waiting. That's going to be mine, and it will be perfect.
Get the practice ones out of the way.
Right? Everybody's going to have a little different. So I just found it to be funny that I made 2 whole shawls. So freaking proud of myself. And a huge, huge mistake. Colossal mistake in both of them. The same mistake in both of them. That was kind of funny. Different mistake in this one. Kind of funny, though. You can see when I went, oh. So that's on my nails. Doing another handbrake. Again, I just kind of get crazy and get stuck.
She finds patterns that she likes, and then she'll do them until she never wants to knit them again.
Until I'm sick and tired of them. And then I'm like, I don't want to knit ever again. And then it's like, no, it's just the pattern.
You're just done with that pattern.
So, but I'm making another neck break, and the problem, handbrake, and the problem is I like it. It's a good knit. I like the end product. I want a couple more before I get sick of them. If it wasn't in the round, I'd probably do 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah.
If I could figure out how to do that. You know what? I think I'm going to work on that.
Actually just figured that out.
I think I did. I think I just figured that out. Oh my God, I think I just figured that out. Very cool. So maybe next week I'll have a couple on the needles so you can see how crazy that is. But this one, so I've made it smaller. This one's actually for my grandson, Zeb.
Oh, he's gonna
yeah.
the blue?
Yeah. This is leftover yarn. It is acrylic, and it is DK weight, wouldn't you call that?
Mm-hmm.
It's with the other neck break. Oh, it was on the back of your chair.
It's on the back of yours now.
Oh, there it is. It's with the other DK. It's the same yarn, different color. This is the sweater yarn that I made Zeb's sweater out of last Christmas. And this one for Everett, right?
No, Zeb's sweater for Christmas was...
No, his was red and gray like Papa's.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe this was the gray with the red. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is leftover yarn. So the thing is I don't know specifically all of the information on it. It came in a huge ball, like a ball like this big, And I've got a blue one, a gray one, and a purple one. And I figured I got grandbabies, it'll keep me knitting forever. And this is the third project. I've done a sweater, I've done a hat. I think I showed the hat on the first project, or the first podcast. I think I showed this hat.
I think
So anyway, I've made it smaller. I've made it 100 stitches instead of 120. And I'm using a size 10 needle and not metal, as you can see. It is bamboo. I know that just sounded horrible, and I didn't mean it to sound horrible.
It doesn't sound horrible. It just, you sound so sad.
I am. I love my metal. I do. I'm so afraid of breaking. I break so many wooden needles.
I do not. I enjoy
fan.
knitting with wood needles. I do not like knitting with metal at all.
And with that said,
It's too slippery. I lose stitches too often. I tend to try and make it too tight.
And the other way with bamboo. Bamboo makes me hold it tighter, and I feel it like, so metal is like butter, it's like whoosh, 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 whoosh. So nice.
I don't particularly care for it. I like those sound effects.
So, excuse me. I do have a couple of hardwood needles that I enjoy with.
What is that? Knitter's Pride Dreams needles. Love those. Holy mackerel, they're awesome. I just found them, like a couple months ago for the gauntlets that I showed in the first episode. I got the double points for that pattern, and I love them so much I went back and got 2 more.
So I'm going to show this one. I didn't show it last week. I've not worked on it at all this week, and I'm kind of sad about that because I really want it done. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's not hard to work on. It isn't. You just have. I've had it in the car a couple times, which is, I wouldn't recommend beads in a car.
No.
But I didn't have any problems with it. That's the thing that makes it bad, because that means I can do it again.
But then you get beads in your car.
I know. I didn't though. I didn't. I swear I didn't. But anyway, I really like, this is that neck break. Nope. Hand break pattern from Kay and Dan, that I'm putting a bead with every purl, and I'm really liking it. I'm thinking that this is going to be a really pretty end result, and it is sports weight. I'm using a very small, probably 4. Would you say those are 4? I have to measure that.
Maybe.
I'll try to get that.
Here, don't you have?
I do.
Needle
Little
gauge
stash bag. I'm not big on bags and stashing things, and I like my knit bags. I'm not into tiny
I like
little
the tiny
things.
ones. Oh my gosh.
But I'm learning to like the tiny ones because I'm kind of.
What is it, a notations bag?
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's mattering how I'm doing my knits, which is kind of weird to me. I've never been that way. It's actually a 2. Wow, I was really off. I wonder if these are 10s then. I'm usually pretty good at gauging, because I could never find my gauger thing because I don't play with notation stuff. Okay, I was off by a scotch. It's 10.5. I'm still calling that. That's pretty darn good. 2s. This is what I need. Another set of 2s. That's what I need. Let's see if these are sizing all my needles. 5s. These are 5s. These are good ones. It's a good one for that. So, yeah. Sorry about
That's
that.
what's on your needles?
Kind of went crazy on that. Yes. I
'Cause
believe that is all that's on my needles. That's all I've got.
I have an archive on my needles. So it is still on my needles, but it is technically an archive because it's, really old.
Excuse me.
And if you remember and saw the last episode, me talking about those socks, the first ever pair of socks that I attempted to knit.
Right.
And how I did the very one and only first sock, all on its own, and in a weekend, knitting retreat weekend. Here is that sock.
It's so hard to decide what I'm going to knit with. That's kind of
and here is on my needles, still, years and years and years later, its companion. And I mean, at this point, it's really ridiculous that I haven't finished them because I'm on the leg, and so it's like, it's a toe-up pattern. And it's like, really? I did the toe, heel, and I'm like...
How far you got? Oh, girl.
Not
You're
that far.
funny. You
And
are
I just haven't done it.
funny.
And I can't tell you how many pairs of socks I've knit since.
Like dozens.
And I haven't finished them.
Oh, you're funny. You need to put that in the front of your bag for after Christmas knits. And get it done.
And I do have another article.
Get that monkey off your back.
I know, I'm really excited to wear them. Because I think they'll be really cozy warm. And they are knit out of the Cascade sock yarn, and I believe it's like 100% wool or something. It's machine washable, and it might not be 100% wool. I don't remember now because again, 9 years ago is when I bought it. So that's all I can remember.
It's gonna be hard to match up if you have to match that up.
I don't. Luckily, I don't. I was a planner, and I bought
Hey, for planners.
I know.
I'm so not a planner.
And again, I think
wish
this is
I
those. I
was.
love these needles. They're
really
wooden
do.
needles, and I just love them. They're so cute. They're the little double pointed green ones.
You like your little double points, though.
I think double points are super cute. I love flats, but I never use them. They are so pretty, but I just don't use them. But yeah, I've got plenty of yarn left because I made sure when I bought the yarn for the weekend that I had enough for the whole project.
That's the smart thing to do. You know, my mom would, she used to buy the kits, remember? We seen them
those
at
are
the knit shop the other day.
expensive.
Well, you're not going to hit a kit under, well, my mom used to, again, acrylic queen. She would do a kit for, and that was way back when, like $30 would do a blanket or, she was big time in the kits. But her whole thing was you always buy enough yarn. If you don't have enough money to buy the yarn, you find another project because you don't want to be trying to color match the best you can when you run out of your yarn. So it's one of the things that kept me from knitting for so long was the fear that I was going to run out, that I wasn't going to be able to match up. And one of the things that the Devonshire Knit Along helped me with was kind of conquering that fear a little bit because I started with a yarn that I knew was all natural and all the things that I was looking for, and I thought I had enough. I really thought I had enough. I didn't have the information. It had been bought years ago, and jumped in feet first, having a great knit, and 30 stitches from the end, I ran out. And there's no way. There's absolutely no way I could find it again. So I went down to the knit shop and did my best at, at color matching, and it worked. But you could tell.
You sound so unhappy with it. It worked.
Well, I was super excited. It was the first time I've been able to read a pattern by myself and actually from beginning to end and get it done. And I know
it turned out so pretty.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And now that I'm over that thrill of reading a pattern.
But you didn't think you were going to finish
10-year-old
the pattern anyway.
I didn't think I'd be able
it.
to do it. I really didn't. So I wasn't really expecting to finish it. So when I got it finished, I was super happy with it. It will be a favorite of mine forever. And the mar is huge. It's got a huge mar on it. And it's okay. I don't mind mars. They're pretty and unique, and there's always a story. Nobody will ever forget the story of me running out of yarn, right? At least anybody that listens to me. But anyway, I just started rambling because you left me. I wanted to talk a little bit about my first knit.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I got married, and my husband was in the military, so we were stationed in Bentwaters, England. and we lived in Felixstowe, right by the beach there in southern England, and loved it. I was just a baby. It was so much fun. And going to now, my mother was a crocheter, and my mother was a very good crocheter, and very intimidating to learn crocheting from. So I learned how to crochet, but I didn't like it. So I just figured, it just wasn't for me. And my mom was an excruciating reader, and I'm not. I'm very dyslexic, so that part was yet another thing that we didn't connect on. And she read every flippin' pattern known to man, and she was just amazing. She could bend a piece of yarn with her little hook into anything. It was pretty cool. But being, you know, 18 and wanting to do it my own way, I wanted to knit. And I was in England. Everybody knitted. Everybody knitted in England. It's like everybody wore their own sweaters. Nobody went out and bought sweaters. They made them. We lived in a little flat in Felixstowe. My husband would know the address. I don't. I'm not that good at it. But down below, it was a big 3-story house turned into a 3-story flat. And the cutest old couple that owned the home lived down in the main floor. And then the middle floor was an Australian couple, Murray and Marlene, that ended up being stand-ins for our wedding. Watched us get
Best
married.
man or witnesses?
Yeah, witnesses, because we didn't necessarily have a wedding. We went to, bless you.
Thank you.
We went and went to the register.
I thought you did have a wedding.
No, I went to the register.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You were supposed to have a wedding, and then.
Yeah, I was 17 when my husband came home from leave before he went overseas for a couple of years, and he left for overseas the day I turned 18, and it wasn't legal for me to get married, and my parents panicked a little bit and said no, that I couldn't get married, so I had to wait until I was 18. So I went over to England and got married. That's how stubborn I was. And I'm sure my parents were sure that I would wait, the 2 years, or wait for him to come home on vacation when I was old enough. And it was a pretty rough way to start, but it worked out for us. Went over there, and I wanted to knit. I didn't have a whole lot with me. I didn't bring much. So Marlene, who lived below us from New Zealand, and Marlene, if you ever see this, please contact us. I've been trying to find you, and I can't find you guys. You guys was from New Zealand. You were going back. You were on a working holiday. I had never heard of that until I got over to England. You were fantastic, and I would love to see how you guys are doing. But anyway, she taught me how to knit, and she was taught by her mom, and her mom was taught by her mom, and there was no such thing as reading a pattern, and there was no such thing as a beginner's knit at the age of 18, because I think she was 6 when she learned, or some crazy thing. So I went to the knit shop, and she's like, bring whatever pattern you want. And I bought this pattern that was beautiful. It was a man's sweater, because, a young married girl wants to knit their honey something, right? So I was going to knit my husband this sweater that was red with white snowflakes color worked all over it. I mean, like snowflakes as big as your hand snowflakes. And yeah, I would not have picked that if I were right now as a beginner knitter. But she was like, by the time you're done with the sweater, you're not going to be a beginner knitter anymore. Okay, I'm good at following directions. If you tell me and show me, especially if you show me what to do, I'll do it. I'll do exactly what you tell me to do. So she was knitting a sweater, not as decorative, because she wasn't into decorative sweaters. And we were knitting along, and obviously she was going way quicker. I swear to God, she'd make a sweater in like 2 or 3 weeks. It was crazy from beginning to end. It was just like, anyway, still can't imagine doing that. But anyway, she got me, so I got pregnant pretty quick after getting over there. And I was getting ready to go home when my baby was 7 months old. So all the way through pregnancy and 7 months into her life, I got the front done, the back done, and both arms done. I needed to put them together. And I left country, and I left it in the car. And my husband didn't check the car because I used to knit in the car because when you have a baby, you don't have a whole lot of time. And yeah, he sold the car with it in the car. So in England somewhere, somebody had a fully knitted beginner sweater. I don't know how good it was because I never got to put it together. It looked cool though. It looked cool in the pieces. And then, you know, it was like, it's okay. After I got over not getting it, decided to redo it. And, got settled in northern Maine and started knitting again because up in northern Maine, there's not a whole lot out there. So same sweater, got back into it, and I knitted the front, the back, and one arm, I believe. I had one arm completely done. And we got a collie and a puppy. And that puppy proceeded to literally eat my sweater. Some of it was completely missing, and the rest of it was shredded all over the house. Well, and at this point in time, by then, I had my second child, and she was just an infant at the time. And I took every scrap of fiber that I had in my home, every stick that would resemble a knitting stick, and threw it in the garbage because I figured the universe didn't want me to knit.
Oh, yeah. Michael eating your yarn.
Yeah. Years go by. We're back in Oregon now. I am a massage therapist, and I start helping people birthing their babies, being a doula. I find myself in situations that I'm kind of just sitting, waiting, not a big reader. I feel like reading kind of shuts me down because I'm not a good reader, so I have to put 110% into my reading. Not that I don't enjoy it, I do. Just don't bother me when I'm reading. And so you can't read when somebody wants your attention.
Yeah, right.
But you can knit. And I remembered that, and I thought, well, okay, I can knit scarves, and I can knit hats, and I can knit, just knit. And so I got back into knitting. I fell in love with it again. Forgot how much I loved the fiber. I had got enough established that I could be as snobby as I wanted to with the fiber selection, and just had a great time. Hence, that's where I'm at knitting now. And since then, I have had a fight. I've talked about, knitting with my mom and finding that was soothing to her. It's soothing to me. I found out from my chiropractor, and I don't know if did I say this about the dopamine drip that happens?
I thought so.
45 minutes after you start picking up a knit. So all of these things keeping me knitting as well as loving the feel of the yarn. Once I got my fight with cancer, I gave up knitting again because it was hurting my hands to even hold the yarn. But I was so like, ugh. That's why I got into poking things with the needle felting. And then actually finding the needle felting got me back into knitting again because I missed.
And it also helps
something
having
portable.
Somebody who likes the same crafting as you.
It really does. It really does.
To keep
So
you
that's kind of my really long, weird story about knitting.
into it.
And I love it. I hope I never lose the desire to knit because I really enjoy knitting. And I get kind of crazy on things because I did the picture books. What is that? Scrapbooking for a while. I did beading for a really long time in that interlay of not knitting.
It's
not
like you
I
find
wasn't
something
doing
that's
anything. I was just
soothing.
trying to find that thing that was knitting. But anyway, that's just me. It's like, just go back to what you know. And it's really hard to work on something so good. So I made my mom a sweater when I was in Maine. I guess this was the last thing that I knitted because after the dog ate it, it was like, whoa. I was making my own self a sweater, and I made it a cow neck, and I'm kind of different shape and size than my mother. And it was really pretty. It was really pretty. And I was really proud of it. And it was for me. And my mom and dad came and visited, and I wore it, and she loved it. And being a kind of a crafty girl, she appreciated the craft of it and she wanted it. And so I gave it to her. Well, her and I have different body types and it didn't fit her. So needless to say, she gave it to Goodwill and I went, no, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to work so hard. And you got to find people that are going to appreciate what you're doing.
Well, it's
It
hard to
takes
put so much
time.
time, effort,
It
and
takes so
thought
much time, yeah,
into
well,
something,
the hot flashes.
and then not have it appreciated, I guess.
Right, exactly. So I figured I wouldn't play that game anymore because I don't want to be bitchy. I don't want to be mean to people. I don't want to be, like, are you gonna wear this? If you're not gonna wear it, you can't have it.
Not for you.
Right. So it does help to have a daughter that it gets it. When you give that present and that person's like, cool, thanks. A scarf. Just what I wanted. And Courtney's over there like going, it's like, yes, that's exactly how you feel. Because you spent time thinking about that person while you knitted them. And their cold little fingers if it was a pair of gloves. Or their cold little head if it was a hat. Or the color of their eyes. Or, whatever it is. And so kind of went off on that last week too. People appreciating the knits. But it's like, okay, people, we start with this. And look what we get.
Yes, we make pretty things out of string.
Magic. It's magical. That's all I'm saying. Gotta find people that appreciate the magic. So yeah, that's I don't even know what we're talking about. And you're out of focus again, baby. You need to pull in.
Sorry.
There you go.
I was tying it in
There.
as I moved along.
So behind Courtney, I haven't talked about her, my little Can doll.
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of like her up there. If you look at her, you can see the side. There's her little swirl on her hip. It was a lot of fun to do. Maybe one day we'll pull her in and get her a close up. But anyway, we are
out of time.
We are coming around. That was really long and kind of weirdly fast.
Yeah,
Bit of both. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you guys.
hopefully we'll see you for episode 4.
Who do you?